Hi, I'm Brenda Buglione. Welcome to SnowMotion. I'm standing at the top of Vail Mountain overlooking my favorite place to ski, the Back Bowls. In this edition, we're going to get to ride the lift with Marc Girardelli, world champion. And then we're going to meet Maddie Bowman and find out what she did when she was a little girl. And as always, I'm going to give you one of my ski tips. All that and a whole lot more.
Would it be easier if we had no shoes, no time to kill, and nothing to lose, and no worries but the great blue sky, and looking for shade when the sun gets high, or climbing up that coconut tree? If it's time for one of nature's treats, would it be easier?
It's a place where I feel at home. Every run is an adventure. Vail, it's like nothing on earth.
SnowMotion is brought to you by The New Mitch by Paul Mitchell. Style isn't born, it's groomed. And by Surefoot. Better fitting, better skiing. Welcome back to SnowMotion. Every week we get to ride the lift with someone famous in the ski industry. This week we are lucky to spend time with Marc Girardelli, one of the best former skiers in the world. He tells us how he committed his life to be the best. Today's SnowMotion chairlift interview is with five-time world champion Marc Girardelli. It's a lucky day for us here at SnowMotion.
Hi.
Hi, Marc. Thanks for riding the lift with us.
It's a great honor for me to be here in Beaver Creek with you, and it's such a beautiful day, and Colorado is something of the best I ever saw.
Tell me about what you're doing now after all this racing.
You know, in Europe we have also very beautiful ski areas. Naturally, I'm living in the Alps, in the eastern Swiss region. And I have about 15 to 20 corporate events with companies, with private clients. And from October to end of April, I am quite engaged with that kind of work. This is my principal occupation. Then I work for a company in Liechtenstein who produces therapy systems. And newly, I am busy with bomber skis, which I signed a contract with Robert Siegel, the owner from New York, and I'm very proud to be a part of this team because I tested these skis last spring in Aspen, and I was so surprised that such a small company can produce so good skis. And now we are developing new models. We are even in the racing department, and I think it will be a hell of a work to make this product, this brand, popular in Europe and in the States. I really like this kind of work. Every little plant has to grow slowly in the beginning, like bomber skis as well. And but I think exactly these first steps are the most impressive.
Exciting.
If you go to a big company, the carpet is already there. But here we are just making the first steps, like a baby. And that is really, really exciting, and I like this work.
They're nice looking.
The interesting thing is that we have also a partnership with two artists. The design of the skis is something very spectacular.
And how do you feel they carve?
They are excellent, you know. In 2 days anyway, we have a race, so I have to be in a good shape.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I'm not the youngest competitor that day, but for sure not the slowest one.
Right. So many kids looked up to you as a racer because you worked so hard. I would love you to tell us what you did for training and why you worked hard.
Because for me, hard work and hard training was never force. Never ever my parents had to force myself to train hard. Even when I was 10 years old in school, I was training for half an hour before I went to school. I went to the local track and field club. I was doing in the gym, everything, even in that age. And my father, he trained me on the slopes, in the snow. But he visited me maybe 5 times in dryland training. The rest I did by myself.
It's dedicated.
It is fun. Even now, I like to go on the bike. I like to hike in the mountains. And for sure, my physical shape is not like 20 years ago, but I like to really get my pulse to 180. 200 is not possible anymore, but 180 is still possible.
And what about your ski technique? Girardelli. I mean, geez.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, they remember my races from the past and they say, we could recognize you just because your style. And I cannot believe it, but it must be like this, because I hear it from America, I hear it from Europe. And because I think the reason is that I trained always by myself. And I had never comparison with other racers like Stenmark, Zurbriggen, Aamodt, Tomba. These were competitors during my career. And they were all training with the team, and they had comparison during the training time in summer and autumn on the glaciers. I was mostly of my career alone, and that's why a special technique developed for me.
Lots of angles.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay, so the other story, which I was telling this week, was about how you hurt your knee. Totally, it had to be reconstructed by Dr. Stedman.
Yeah.
In what year was that?
It was in 1983 in the downhill in Lake Louise in Canada. And I was a very young downhiller. I just tried to enter in the downhill because I was already successful in slalom and GS. And unfortunately, my third downhill was my destiny. I made a crash and my knee was completely dislocated. In the video I saw that the foot turned around, the knee turned around 360 degrees. So you can imagine what was broken. It was broken everything except the patella and the aorta.
Oh, and that's why you're alive.
No. The doctor in Austria who was working for the insurance company, he told me to look out for a job without stairs because I will not be able to walk stairs anymore.
And you came back the next year.
That was a great motivation. I was not 100% sure if he was paid by the Austrian Ski Federation then. But I had a successful season the next year. I won 5 slaloms, could beat Stenmark in slalom. And the years after this injury, I have to admit, were the most successful ones.
Because do you think you just had to work harder to come back?
I worked like hell, I have to say. I made 3 sessions every day from about 2 hours. And the whole year was only from training. Physically, on the snow, and also my head was only focused on sport, on how can I get faster down this hill. And I think actually my destiny with this injury made me at the end so strong for so many years, because I know what does it need to become the best and what does it need to remain the best.
Sometimes things turn out for the best, even though you think they're hard at that time, right?
You know, for sure. I was not able to be always #1, but at least I could manage it to make it 5 times, which is still record. But nevertheless, I think it's not the question how many trophies you have in the cupboard at home. I think the thing what remains in the head of the people that watch the races is the fight against the best. And my fights against Stenmark, Zurbriggen, Aamodt and Tomba, I think that remains in the head of the people, and that's why...
Because it brought the excitement.
Yeah, exactly. The emotions at the screen, on the side of the race. And I think that is really the condiment of life.
Why did you leave Austria and race for Luxembourg?
Oh, that was a long story. I was only a child with 9, 10, 11 years. I was coming from the flatlands. The nearest lift was about 1 hour from our home. So I needed the help of my parents to go to ski, to train. And nearby in Austria there are a lot of academies like Green Mountain Valley School or Berg. And they had a lot of very young and good racers. But unfortunately, I was better than them. and they had a bad press in the media. But just to keep up the friendship, I couldn't race slower.
Right, I get it, yes. So it's all peaceful though.
Yeah.
They must have missed you. The Austrians would want you.
For sure. I was only 12 years old when I left the Austrian Federation for Luxembourg.
Yeah.
And yeah, real true friendships throughout my career didn't exist, but now we go and have a drink and we have a chat with the Austrian ski officials. But it is a collegial friendship, but not a deep one.
Oh, I don't want the chairlift to end because I could talk to Marc Girardelli all day long.
It is a big pleasure with you, Brenda, and I hope we can make 1 or 2 runs together now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Okay,
Let's
we're
start
at
it,
the
huh?
top. Let's
Good.
start it, and thank you, Marc.
Thanks you, Brenda. It was great. It was great.
For more SnowMotion fun, log on to my website at snow-motion.com.
What we've done at Surefoot is really changed the way that you get ski boots.
The sun shines bright.
This boot is made for your foot. The difference is amazing. You'll ski better. They're better fitting, better skiing than anything you've ever experienced.
I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me. And life is good the way it should.
Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York. TripAdvisor not only has millions of real travelers' reviews and opinions, but checks hundreds of websites so people can get the best hotel prices. To plan, compare, and book the perfect trip, visit TripAdvisor.com today.
Have you ever wanted to go skiing where the lifts can't take you? Check out this film clip from Warren Miller's No Turning Back.
Cordova, Alaska is a unique place in a state full of unique places. It's a place people come to just get away from it all, or a place that people just can't get away from. Depends on who you ask, really. The first known Western exploration here was in 1790 by Don Salvador Fidalgo, who dubbed the area Puerto Cordova. Over 100 years later, copper was discovered, so they built a mine and dropped the Puerto from the name. Then they started skiing. Back then it was considered the razor clam capital of the world. Cordova still has a commercial fishing fleet of 600 boats, a police department with 2 cops and a dog, well-equipped volunteer firefighters, a Mexican restaurant and a school bus, a local airline, members of 4 native tribes, and 4 friendly bars.
It's always ladies' night in Alaska.
They're still skiing up here on one of the oldest chairlifts in North America. And there's still one guy who thinks it's the razor clam capital of the world. There's another guy who thinks it's the heli-ski capital of the world, Kevin Quinn.
You know, I started this 17 years ago with the idea that we wanted something unique, something a little different. We're in the business of blowing people's minds. We are 15 years in Cordova working as a heli-ski operation, and this is Disneyland on steroids. The goods are good, and the odds are good that you're gonna get the goods. After being in business now for 5+ years. Where's time gone? Man, oh man, feel lucky.
Cordova's seen a lot of colorful characters over the years, but none quite like these. Guide Kim Grant. Make sure the Points North staff doesn't drown in dudes. Chris Anthony, who just goes wherever Kim tells him to. big mountain legend Ingrid Backstrom, and one of the few women who can keep up with her, Jess McMillan.
Nothing like riding a magic carpet to a mountaintop. That's pretty much the best day of your life, no matter where you are. The early days, you know, it's wonder what we're gonna find around this corner. If it didn't stick out on the horizon, it wasn't worth skiing.
Everything you do, all the preparation, all the lines that you ski, it's in the idea of one day you'll be able to test your skills in Alaska.
A lot more women are getting out in the mountains and charging, and hopefully the pyramid just keeps getting bigger.
This sport has changed so much. I mean, look at the last 65 years of the Warren Miller movie. It used to be a big expedition just to get you out there just to take a photo of these mountains. Now we're dropping on top of them. Here I am with the power in women's free skiing. And power is just an understatement. This is like going to dream camp.
A lot of new things happen here. And we're skiing these big lines with really heavy consequences. And I was like, oh, darling, this is happening. If everything was safe, it wouldn't be that much fun, right?
Only has one speed. It's like full speed ahead. He charges so hard. He's such a powerful skier, and he'll pick out things and you're like, okay. And then he just sends it. And sometimes it goes well.
It usually ends like this.
Woke up sweating from a dream with a different kind of feeling. All day long my heart was beating, searching for the meaning. For my whole life we never crossed the line, only friends in my mind. But now I realize it was always you. Can't believe I could not see it all this time. All this time, it was always you. Now I know why my heart wasn't satisfied. Satisfied, it was always you.
You had all these rad skiers who were just at the height of extreme skiing, and then they discovered this place. It's never going to be the same. And to have that pinnacle that everybody can kind of reach for, there's always that new frontier to challenge yourself, and it's always changing. Skiing somehow makes me better at life.
Always you,
senses are on fire. All the emotions you can possibly feel all in one run. To share that with Ingrid Backstrom, I'm the luckiest person in the world. This place is magical.
People think, my God, there's no way I'm gonna ski that. And then when they ski that, they say, can we do it again? It's Alaska, man. There's no place like it.
Woke up sweating from a dream with a different kind of feeling. It was always
It feels really special to be able to go to one of the biggest lines that's in our zone here in the Chugach with two other gals that feel the same passion and love for big mountain skiing.
You can't predict those perfect moments. Keep showing up, you'll be rewarded.
You know, if I could do it all over again and not change a thing, I'd probably do it again. That or buy a whole bunch of surfboards and bikinis and be doing something different.
What do your eyes have to do with the sport of skiing? Stay tuned to SnowMotion and you'll find out.
It's a place where I feel at home. Every run is an adventure. Vail, it's like nothing on earth.
What we've done at Surefoot is really changed the way that you get ski boots.
the sun shines bright.
This boot is made for your foot. The difference is amazing. You'll ski better. They're better fitting, better skiing than anything you've ever experienced.
I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me. And life is good the way it should.
Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York. TripAdvisor not only has millions of real travelers' reviews and opinions, but checks hundreds of websites so people can get the best hotel prices. To plan, compare, and book the perfect trip, visit TripAdvisor.com today.
SnowMotion is brought to you by Vail, like nothing on earth. And by Smith Optics, we make the great days better. This is a simple ski tip, but it's really important. It's about your eyes and where you're looking when you're skiing. The first thing is that you don't want to look down at your tips because that will make you rigid and tight in your skiing. You want to look 20, 30, 40 feet in front of you. Just like if you were a tightrope walker, you'll have more balance looking further ahead. The second reason is that you can anticipate terrain changes. So if you're skiing along a flat and it drops off to a steep, you can make an adjustment by driving forward. Or you enter a bump field and you gotta be quick with your pole plant in your feet. Or you see an ice patch, your body will always be ready and react in the right way. Finally, having good peripheral vision is important because you could be aware of skiers coming on your right and your left, so you know where to turn and you'll always stay safe. So remember, when you're out there skiing or riding, keep your eyes facing down the hill. You'll be a more balanced, more prepared, and a better skier on the hill. Maddie Bowman, she's so good, she has an X Games gold medal. Let's learn more about her in this week's Athlete Profile.
I would definitely say I did not have a choice in if I wanted to become a skier or not. I learned when I was 2, so I don't even remember learning. It was definitely my parents, you know, they wanted me to be a skier, and lucky for them, I wanted to be one too. I loved racing, specifically slalom, but as you know, I grew up, it got a little bit more serious, and I decided to ski with the park team one day, and I just completely fell in love with it. It was so free and creative and fun, and I don't think I could ever go back. I'd have to say my first season, like doing Grand Prix and stuff, was definitely the season where I was like, okay, I'm kind of good at this stuff, but I'm just gonna, you know, I'm not trying to get too serious. I'll just stick to what I'm doing, stick to having fun, and it definitely worked out in my favor.
Thanks for watching SnowMotion. I'm Brenda Buglione. I hope you get a chance to get out and make some turns. I'll see you next week.
Would it be easier if we had no shoes, no time to kill, and nothing to lose, and no worries but the great blue sky, and looking for shade when the sun gets high, or climbing up that coconut tree. If it's time for one of nature's treats, would it be easy?